Snapshot 23w05a is here. This is once again a snapshot for 1.20.5. It brings the new vault block, which we're going to cover a little bit more in detail. Let's cover this first, and then we'll jump to some other changes. This is for 121, not 120.5. You have to have the experimental toggle enabled to have this block. I really do love the texture of it though, it looks really cool. But let's head down into a trial chamber to explore what this block does. So we are now within a trial chamber, and this is the only place that this block can spawn currently. You can see they are pretty common. In this room we have, what is that, 3? We have 1, 2 and 3. And it doesn't look like there's any more. This is also new. I don't remember there being decorated pot here before. So it seems like they've updated some like pots and that locations. If we explore around there, wait, there is a whole new area here. Has this seems to be longer, or they've added to it. I don't remember spawners being here before. It seems like they've increased the amount of spawners that spawn here, although I could be wrong. It seems like there's between 1 and 3 in every big room, and then in the corridors there seems to be 0, at least as far as I can see right here. This room has 2 at the bottom, and then as we go up, it seems like there are another 2 at the top. It seems like there is also 1 in the starting room. Now, I don't know exactly what these replace. I don't know if when you spawn the structure in, if it can either be a trial spawner or a block. That is something that I'm not too sure about. So now let's cover a little bit about what the block does. The block will spawn only within this structure. When you are nearby, if you haven't unlocked the vault yet, you'll have some orange particles. You'll see that orange particles are going from me into the key, which we can then unlock with the trial key. The texture for this has also been updated slightly to match the new look and what the use is. So if I click the key on, you'll see that the lock then opens and we get some random items. These items are currently the same as the old loot tables for the reward chests. This is temporary though. In a future snapshot, these will be changed and made a lot better. The loot table is currently very temporary. Now, if you unlock the vault, you cannot unlock it again. I am clicking the key on the block and it's not letting me unlock it. It will only let a new player unlock this vault. Now, if a player was within range and they was to go up to the vault, the padlock will then show it's open again, but only the player who hasn't unlocked it will be able to click the key on the block. Another thing about it, if we find a different one, wait, this is a whole new area. So it seems like they've added way more possible spawns for the trial chamber, or have we got 2 that have generated together here? My game did just crash there. That is the first time in ages that my game has crashed during a snapshot. But yeah, this I think is 2 different trial spawners. Let's see, is there 2 starting rooms? No, there isn't. So this is just 1 trial chamber. It seems like they've increased how big they can generate then. I have looked around and it does seem like there is only the 1 starting room. Now this is way bigger, but I don't know. This could just be like a misgeneration. Let's maybe try and find another one. There isn't anything in the patch notes as far as I can see about the structure being adjusted or made bigger. We could have just got extremely lucky with the generation though. So I found another one right here. And this seems to be the correct size. So yeah, it seems like we just got extremely lucky. But it does seem like there are some new rooms that can possibly generate, as I've never seen that long massive corridor before. But let's cover this one. This one has generated within a lush cave. So let's talk a bit more about the vault block. As you can see, when you get within range, it does open and close. This will only happen if you haven't unlocked it before. On the inside, you'll see that it will rotate between possible items you could get from the structure, so you can see the kind of loot table before you open it. And as for the block's data, you can adjust this with data packs and things like that, because if I grab the data, you will see that the data for it is key. The key item can be changed using the data. You can make it so the key item is a diamond, for example. Now, the block cannot be moved with pistons. If we try and move it, you can see that it's not going anywhere. It can't be pushed or pulled. If we try to break it with a pickaxe, the block will break, but there will not be any loot table. It does also seem like it takes quite a while to break, so it's not something you can get rid of quite easily. Well, it seems like there's a pretty bad crash at the moment. I've crashed twice now, and every time I've reloaded into the world, I have been back at spawn, as if the world has completely been reset. But we were saying, the block doesn't drop anything if you do break it, and it cannot be moved around the world. When you place it down, it will have the default loot table of the trial chambers. You can see the items are rotating through that in the actual container. I do really like how it reacts to players nearby. That is really cool. You can see when I go near it, because I haven't unlocked it yet, the container tells me that I haven't. If I go far away, then they deactivate and they stop doing anything, which is cool. But this depends on the players in the radius. If I had opened it, but there was another player here that hadn't opened it, it would show up as if it hadn't been opened, although you have opened it yourself. And that's just because I don't think blocks can have a texture per player. It's like a world texture. So this block is pretty cool. Now, you can open multiple of these. So I did just open up a few of them right there. But once you've opened up one, you then can't open it again. You can go and hunt for another one and open a second one or a third, but you cannot open the same one twice. Now, quickly jump into the patch notes so we can cover a bit more about how you can config the vault block if you want to with data packs. You can change the loot table, which is the items that the block gives. The current loot table is Trial Chambers Reward. I'm not going to cover the loot table because it's very temporary and this will be changing in a future snapshot. The activation range can also be changed. This is the range at which any player who hasn't unlocked the vault must be to open its keyhole, and the default value is 4. You can also change the deactivation range, which is the range a player must be out of for the block to deactivate and close its keyhole, and by default this is 4.5. You can also adjust the key item, and by default this is the trial key. And then you can also override the loot table to display, an optional loot table which will be displayed inside the cage. And by default this is no value, although when you place it down by default, it rotates with the trial chamber loot. And then shared data, you can also adjust the connected particle range. And this is the range at which players who have not unlocked it have to be to show that orange particle that goes to the key lock. And this is once again at 4.5. They've also made some changes to data pack 30. The potion effects stored in items or entities will no longer encode their default values. So you can see the amplifier, duration, ambient, and show particles. They will no longer give the default values. They've also added body armor item and body armor drop chance to all entities that currently have hand items or armor items and handled the same way as hand items and armor items. I think this is so you can customize them a bit easier. Horses armor, llama decor, and wolf's armor has also been changed to use these two values. And then the bugs inside of this snapshot, there are only 4 of them. The 2 that are noticeable is the sniffer's snout shading changes during sniffing. That has been fixed. And then wolf armor loses custom display name and other NBT when equipped. There is also some other changes which are technical, and I don't understand any of these. It seems like it's something to do with region file compression, which I'm not going to cover because I have no way to showcase it and I don't really understand it. But if you do want to pause the video and read what has changed here, once again, the vault block is really cool and unique, but that is it for this video. I'll have a video releasing sometimes later this week where I cover a bit more about the vault block, my opinions on it, how it can be improved and things like that. But if you did enjoy this video, do leave a like and subscribe, and I guess I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.